So what allows a person to become that version of themselves where they achieve everything that they desire? How can we simply be and assume that we are that person without any intangible evidence to prove it? In this video, I'm going to explain to you why you must be in order to see what you want to become. I will also describe the biggest challenge that we face to simply be and assume of the wish fulfilled. Once you acknowledge the true meaning of the law of assumption, you're going to realize that you are actually already it. Hey guys, Ivan here. Welcome back. In today's video, we're talking about the law of assumption and why you must be in what you want to see. Now, the law of assumption states that you must assume of your wish fulfilled, that it must become the dominant feeling within you in order for it to be realized. Now, what do I mean that you must be in order to see it? This idea came to me when I was looking at myself in the mirror and I started to see the mismatch between my self-concept and my self-perception. The ideal version of myself was not something that I was seeing. I was not being it, therefore I was not seeing it. And this is why I decided to make this video. You must be in what you want to see. And the only way to do that is to simply be it. What does it mean to be? To be is your beingness. It's your existence. It is your self-concept, the general idea that you have about yourself. This is your truth. It is, how would my ideal self think, feel, and act in this very moment if he did have the wish fulfilled? Many of us get caught up into this feeling of the wish fulfilled, but we're not actually feeling it. We start thinking about it too much. So the problem lies is that we're not actually being it, we're thinking about it. Neville Goddard actually makes a very important distinction between thinking about it and thinking from it. Thinking that you are already assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, which is a very different interpretation. Now, this self-concept that you're going to build for yourself, the way you think, feel, and act, is your truth. You're going to live by this truth regardless if it's conscious or unconscious. This self-concept of yours is the beingness of your existence. It never changes. Your experiences, right, the things that happen around you do change, but you actually never change. So let's just be this version of ourselves that we want to be. But what is the problem? Well, the problem is that we're looking for instant gratification. We want proof of it. We want some external evidence to prove that, in fact, we are that person. But the only person that can prove it is you. Now, obviously, this goes completely against the law of assumption because to assume is without proof. You don't need proof. What you need is a feeling. You see, everything is determined by your assumptions, your ideas, your self-concept about yourself that you believe to be true. If you're doubting your assumptions, then you're going to experience doubt. The self-concept determines the quality of your experience. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that your subjective experience becomes the real reality. Let's use the analogy of a film screen, like the ones in the theaters. There are thousands of movies being played, but the film screen never changes. It never becomes influenced by what it's seen, by what it's being played on. Very much like you have different experiences, you see many different things, but you never actually change. Your subjective experience is always just observing everything. But now let's get into the first issue that I see. Most people focus on doing, but not actually being. You see, they think they need to act in order to have it, and once they have it, then they can be it. But if you think that you need to do something, it only implies that you don't think you already have it. You're not in your assumed state. Doing and being are not separate things. They are actually the same thing. It is your self-concept that is separating them. In The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard states that it is a delusion other than to assume of the wish fulfilled. You can do anything to aid the realization of your desire. In other words, he's trying to tell us that all of our doing, actions that we take, is coming from our assumptions, the ideas that we hold. This is one of the reasons why I find the law of assumption so fascinating, because it reiterates the importance of self-awareness. When we are self-aware, we make choices, and this is the action we only ever take. But when we're unconscious, we fall into a conditioning, a program that creates the illusion that we're actually taking action. This delusion of doing is caused by focusing on things and becoming. instead of the essence of things and why we want them. Here's what I mean by this. You're focused on becoming wealthy, but you're just focused on the material possessions, the high social profile, the luxurious lifestyle, instead of focusing on the qualities of a wealthy person. What is the inner feeling of a wealthy person that makes that person wealthy? What is the self-concept? Remember, what you do is always coming from who you are being. Being always happens first. You can't do without being. You need to be in your self-concept, be in the assumed state of your wish fulfilled in order to take any action that is going to benefit you. When you assume of the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're not doing to get anything. You're doing it to express what you already have. You're taking inspired action with the alignment of your wish fulfilled. Whether it's a wealthy person, successful person, or a happy person, we're always looking at what they have. We're not realize to see what they are being in order to have those things. When you place your focus on the external world, you just get caught up in things. But when you place it inwardly, you place it in your self-concept, your beingness. This beingness determines what you do. But now, here's the biggest challenge that you're gonna have to overcome to be in that wish fulfilled. And that is your identification with the external world, with your body, with your identity. This constant need for validation, for reassurance, is what's creating the resistance and keeping you away from being that ideal person. Remember this, the external world is simply reflecting of who you've been, not who you want to be. Therefore, you must be it now to see it in your external world. The external world that you see is simply just a mirror. It's a reflection of you, of your self-concept that you have about yourself. So the external world cannot change unless you change first. You must be in order to see it. This really requires a strong desire to want to be different, to change from what we were. Now, in my experience, this is the biggest challenge that we're gonna have to overcome. As long as we keep reacting to the external world, we are conforming to it. We need to be in our self-concept in order for the world to conform to us. You must learn to disregard the appearances, conditions, limitations that the external world holds over you. Fortunately for you, you have all the power necessary to do this. And you do this through your attention, because your attention is how you attract all of your experiences. So it's very important that you learn to control and manage what you're putting your attention on, keeping it fixed on your self-concept. That is the only thing that really matters. Attention is your only free will. So when you place your attention on your self-concept, your beingness, and you start to identify with the person that you want to be, the world magically starts to conform to you. Your self-concept is your identification. This is your truth. This is what you stand by from. It's creating your external world. I know you may be asking, well, how do I do that? How do I detach, in a sense, from my external world, which seems so real, has created my self-concept? Use this analogy. Imagine that your external world is just a river that is flowing past by you. You're unaffected by it. Everything that happens around you doesn't affect you unless you allow it to, through your self-concept. And because you hold that concept, wished fulfilled, that assumed state, you say, this doesn't align to who I want to be, therefore it has nothing to do with me. And as you watch this river pass through you, you're allowing life to just happen, to flow, to happen organically and naturally. So we've talked about it. How can we be and stay in that wish fulfilled? Because there seems like there's something that keeps pulling us away from it, right? This nagging little feeling. Well, here's the solution. We're gonna have a controlled attention and a controlled imagination to keep us in that feeling of our wish fulfilled. The goal is to feel like you already have it. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing is required. This feeling must dominate you. You must embody it to the best of your ability where it is a fact. The key is to persist in that feeling. Otherwise, you are delaying the law of assumption and it simply can't work for you. You must be in that feeling. If you want abundance, then you need to know what abundance feels like. If you want confidence, you must feel what a confident person feels like. In The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard explains that imagination creates your reality, that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in reality. In the book, it states that you are only limited by your uncontrolled imagination and your lack of attention on the feeling on your wish fulfilled. If you truthfully want to be in the desired state of your wish fulfilled, you must learn to use your imagination. Use the creative power that has been given to you, because your imagination is what constructs your assumptions. Feeling is the secret, but imagination is the key to the secret, because your feelings create your imagination. Now, let me give you an example and a demonstration of how you would use your attention and your imagination. So let's say you want to make more money. So we construct this affirmation that says, I attract money effortlessly into my life. Then you have a feeling of that affirmation, which could be abundance, joy, gratitude, and freedom. Now I want you to imagine a scenario with that affirmation and that feeling that creates the desired outcome. This can be you visualizing yourself counting money, seeing money being deposited into your bank account, or simply spending money and you knowing that you have an abundance of it. The more you do this practice with every affirmation that you have, and you start to attach the feelings that you would feel, and you imagine a scenario. Imagination is key. You must imagine the desired outcome. This will put you in that desired state. Because no matter what we do, what we identify in the external world, what you're searching for is a feeling. And that feeling lies within your ideas, your assumptions, the self-concept that you hold about yourself to be true. One of the ways that you know that you're actually getting closer is to notice the naturalness that it is to be in that state. This is something that Neville Goddard talks about in the book, that it is the naturalness to the feeling of your wish fulfilled that is the criteria for the success of your desire. Another way to look at this is that when you notice that you're not in your desired state and you place yourself back into that state, you're increasing the frequency, and that frequency is tied to the naturalness. When something becomes natural to you, you're not thinking about it. You are now being it. You are literally seeing yourself change yourself in the moment. There is no way around this. You must desire to be different now. Change the now. This feeling of your wish fulfilled must become the dominant vibration that you embody. You must be in order to do, in order to have. You must be it. So to end this video, we must assume that we already have. The goal is to simply be and know that we already have it, because what you are searching for is a feeling. So if you can be in that assumed feeling, then nothing needs to be created, only manifested through the expression of you. Then you will know that you already have it within you. I will leave you with this. How did you become the person that you are today? Who is that being that has created your life? Well, your answer would be the same as mine, by being it. Being it is first. Being it is the only thing. Your self-concept, the one that you hold about yourself, determines everything. You must be in what you want to see, because you already have it. Guys, I really do hope that this video is going to help you out in your journey. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video.